Hello, my name is Matthew Rencars. I'm about to share my personal, life-changing story of how I went from grossly obese and pronounced to be dead to losing 68 pounds in 8 weeks, effectively saving my own life. Yes, you heard right. I lost 68 pounds in 8 short weeks. After that, I went on to lose 106 pounds. I went from this to this. I did all of this without hours of exercise, restrictive diets, surgery, or drugs whatsoever. You will most likely become very irate when you discover that the simple method has been known and hidden in the elite medical community for years. I am nothing special. I am exactly like you. I've tried and failed diets for years. I would gain and lose weight like the incoming and outgoing Florida Tide. I followed all the popular diets and weight loss regimens, including calorie counting, carb restriction, appetite suppressants, group meetings, and hours of torturous exercise. The breakthrough I discovered came from a very, very unlikely source. In fact, it was a medical lab closely associated with a top Ivy League medical school. What I am talking about is so controversial that we were blocked from even talking about it on TV. Stay with me for the next 5 minutes and I'll expose vicious, multi-billion-dollar lies that the health and pharmaceutical industry force-feed us daily. These lies allow them to profit while hindering your weight loss efforts and effectively wrecking your health. Lies such as, lie number 1, fat will make you fat. Striking fat from your diet is the fastest way to pack on pounds and kill your energy levels. Lie number 2, eliminate carbohydrates from your diet to lose weight. You will find out how carbs can actually accelerate body fat loss. Lie number 3, cutting out calories and depriving yourself of food will accelerate weight loss. But you will find out that this only guarantees weight gain and burning of much needed muscle. Lie number 4, you need to spend hours in the gym to rev up your metabolism to lose weight. Actually, this will ruin your metabolism and force your body to hold on to fat stores. Stick with me until the end of this presentation that could be taken down any minute, and I'm going to show you the exact methods I used that have been scientifically proven to melt away every spare ounce of body fat while maintaining healthy, lean muscle, and how you can dramatically and quickly boost your vitality, daily energy, and even your sex drive, all while boosting your health to significantly lower your risk for terminal diseases such as cancer, heart disease, and even diabetes, as well as reversing the aging process, leaving you looking and feeling years or even decades younger in the matter of a few short weeks. It will shock you when you realize how easy this method will completely and totally change your body. I will show you how I went from my obesity deathbed to fit enough to appear shirtless in a men's magazine. Best of all, it requires 0 prescriptions, no restrictive diets, no magic pills, and no calorie counting. And it works 100% of the time for anyone regardless of age, body type, physical health, or activity level because it is based on our human biology. Before I tell you any more, I must warn you that no one wants this information to surface. They are willing to spill blood to make sure that what I'm about to reveal never ever sees the light of day. The multi-billion-dollar mega machines of our pharmaceutical and weight loss industries have smiled and nodded while raking in millions as we get bigger. They continue to make millions of dollars selling you dreams of optimal health and physique while directing you to the weight gain slaughterhouse. The more you fail, the more money they make. Once you know the real truth, they will never be able to steal from you again. You will be just like the 1,497 others and counting who have used this method you are about to see. You will suddenly have the physique of your life, even if you are in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, or 70s and beyond. I do not care if you're young or old, obese or overweight, man or woman, or if you simply have flabby arms and a big pot belly. Just take me for example. I barely wanted to stand in front of a mirror when I started. Just like me, you can instantly change your health forever. You may even find that symptoms from the most serious health conditions start vanishing before your very eyes. It will feel like a miracle directly from God. Your friends and family will be in disbelief. I am completely convinced that what I'm about to share with you will 100% give you the cut, lean body you have always wanted. But even more significant, it will affect every aspect of your life. Your business life, your sports life, your social life, and even your sex life. It will help rejuvenate the cells of your body to help restore young again vitality to every cell, tissue, and organ. Your youthful drive and energy will return again. That is exactly what happened to Austin from Atlanta, Georgia. He lost over 17 pounds in the first 10 days. He was shocked how the weight just fell off. Then there was Scott from Washington, 15 pounds in 10 days. Or Jack from Texas, who lost 12 pounds in the first 10 days, but lost so much fat it looked like he had lost 30 pounds. Here's what Jen from California said to me after just 2 weeks on the diet. Before I watched her video, I was 87 pounds overweight. I was pre-diabetic and had absolutely no energy and no drive to get better. But I was also very skeptical after trying so many weight loss programs that never worked. Most of them required complete behavioral changes or food portions I could not live with. So I decided to give your program a chance because it sounded so easy. That was, without a doubt, the best decision I have ever made. I noticed an increase in my energy after the very first day. After the third day, I could not believe my eyes. It was like the weight was melting away. After the first week, I had dropped 15 pounds. My head felt clear, I had energy, I had more desire for sex. After 2 weeks, I was down 25 pounds. The joint pain in my left knee completely disappeared. I joined the gym because I had so much energy, I knew my life had changed for good. And there are so many more stories just like Jen. But you are probably wondering at this point, who is Matthew Rencars, and why is this new program so different and so revolutionary? You may also be wondering how you have never heard of something this miraculous and different. Honestly, I felt exactly the same way when a friend of mine who is a medical researcher from California visited me on my deathbed. He told me about brand new, miraculous new research that had been completed at an Ivy League medical facility. My first thought was, why isn't this all over the TV? But then I found out just how controversial it was, and I quickly understood. The clinical study debunked everything that had ever been known about weight loss. Of course, all the big weight loss companies and the drug companies did not want this information released. They would stand to lose millions. Thank God for this discovery. I am not only 106 pounds lighter, but I have the body of someone who's 10 years younger. I've never been so fit and so healthy in my entire life. I actually had a full physical checkup at Emory in Atlanta, Georgia. Remember, the only hospital in the country that could treat something as serious as Ebola? That is the one. The physicians there told me that internally my body was functioning like a 21-year-old. Now, these are the most respected doctors in the world telling me this, but it wasn't always that way. Here is a picture of me just before I received the worst news of my life. News that would devastate anybody if they heard it right. It looks incredible, almost impossible, right? But now, look at me. What is even more remarkable is that only a few short years ago, I had almost committed involuntary suicide because of my weight gain. That's right, I almost died. The emergency doctor told my family I had done too much damage to ever recover, and they should prepare for my demise. He told my wife to think about life after me and how to handle my children. He was convinced I was going to die. This nightmare blindsided me. I knew I'd gained weight, but I never really felt like I was morbidly out of shape. I always figured I had more time to get it under control. But I learned that some people just run out of time. I knew my belly was growing and my pants had ballooned to a 44. I knew that I did not want to see anyone from my past that would get a glimpse of me being Fat Matt. I knew that my sex drive was dwindling by the day and I couldn't do a full day's work without needing a nap. I felt the complete loss of motivation when I barely had the energy to leave the house. Then the dreaded day, May 28th, 2012. Everything happened so quickly. The night before, my wife told me she felt like we needed a break because I was so physically and mentally absent in our marriage. I physically couldn't be the husband and father I needed to be for my family. I woke up numb, not just emotionally, but physically as well. I physically could not move my legs. They felt dead. I was terrified, but nothing compared to what awaited me. As the day wore on, I regained some feeling and was able to move around, so I decided to take my daughter to the park. It was her favorite activity, and I thought it would give me a chance to clear my head. I can still remember her huge smile as we drove there. I can remember her cute attempt at telling me a story about how high she was going to get on the swings that day. All I could think about was how my self-neglect and weight gain must have been embarrassing for her. It was ruining the one part of my life I held the most precious, my family. But I did not realize it was going to take my life. When we arrived, my daughter ran from park ride to park ride, and I struggled to keep up. I was so happy to see her having so much fun. I remember her squeezing my hand and saying, "Thank you for bringing me here, Daddy. I know you weren't feeling good," and off she ran. Then, at that moment, it happened. I'm not sure if it was emotional stress or the hot summer day, but my head went light, my knees buckled, and I ended up on my knees grasping my chest. My daughter instantly began crying and yelling with a look of terror in her eyes as I've only seen once in my life. Then, I simply passed out. Everything just faded away. She ran to get help. Just like that, I opened my eyes in a hospital room, completely surrounded by my closest friends and family. My entire family looked raw from sobbing and worrying. They had to endure seeing me wheeled in from the ambulance and immediately swarmed by doctors and hooked to an IV. According to them, the doctors had been frantically working for 2 hours trying to stabilize me. Then a feeling of dread set in. No one would tell me my condition. They just said that I needed to hear everything from the doctor. They tried to tell me that everything was going to be okay, but the look in their eyes was all I needed to see to become terrified. "You have obesity-induced arterial fibrillation," he said. The word obese still sticks with me. I had always thought I was a bit out of shape, sure, but never obese. After 4 full days of doctor after doctor, medication, and more IVs than I had veins, the chief physician finally came to tell me his diagnosis. What he would tell me still gives me nightmares. It is the doctor conversation everyone dreads. "You have severely damaged your heart and it is not functioning properly. I'm going to prescribe you a regimen of medication. This medication will include prescription strength blood thinners. However, I am under a professional obligation to tell you that you only have a 10% chance that you will survive longer than a few months in this condition. The bad part is, there isn't any medical procedure that will fix this. The damage is done." I was stunned to say the least. I wasn't a smoker, I wasn't a drinker, I didn't do drugs, and I was only 30 years old. I took a full minute in silence and then said, "Well, what can I do?" "The damage is far too great," he said. "There isn't anything you can do." "Nothing is impossible," I said. And the doctor repeated, "No, what you need to do is impossible. You need to lose at least 80 or 90 pounds and fix 10 years of bodily damage. You have to do all of this without decreasing caloric intake or adding cardiovascular exercise. If you decrease your calories, your body will go into survival mode, which stresses your core functions. Your core functions are regulated by your heart, and the extra stress will kill you faster. Cardiovascular activity is needed to lose weight, but the stress of the activity could also kill you before you lose the weight. A little bit of walking could help, but you would not be able to overdo it. And I don't need to explain why turning back the hands of time is impossible. I'm sorry, but that is a reality. I'm really sorry. And that was it. I was just sentenced to death. How could I have let this happen? I replayed my life over and over in my head, wishing I could take it all back and live the healthy life I should have led. I was frustrated because I knew people who were 100 times unhealthier than me, and they were going to far outlive me. This wasn't fair. Life was not fair. I thought back to my declining energy levels and the day I finally stopped going to the gym because I was just too fat. Then there was a lack of sex drive and ultimately less sex with my wife. In fact, we had many nights when I couldn't even get to full attention, as embarrassing as that is to admit. I thought this was all a part of aging. I thought it was normal. And it's not like I didn't try to lose weight, but the pounds came off and then they came back with a vengeance every time I tried a weight loss plan. You name it, I tried it. Fiber pills, appetite suppression pills, body wraps, group meetings, individual counseling, and calorie restrictive diets. None of them made sense, but worse than that, they did not work. They were all too restrictive and unsustainable. I was always tired and hungry to the point where I felt like I was starving to death. My belly kept growing and my muscles were shrinking, along with my confidence and desire to go out into public. I felt like I was in fat guy prison. In fact, the only area that was truly getting lighter was my wallet. I was losing money faster than I could make it. Nutrisystem, Weight Watchers, and other meal plans cost me hundreds per month. Not to mention those pre-packaged meals are laced with a cocktail of chemicals and preservatives, most of which I still can't pronounce. I then progressed to newer, science-based diets like going gluten-free and eating like a caveman, also known as paleo. It turns out I'm not allergic to gluten, so cutting out gluten did nothing for my weight. In fact, many gluten-free foods can pack on pounds faster than other foods. Paleo was essentially a carb restriction diet. I constantly felt weak and my head remained foggy. I just couldn't get enough nutrition from only eating proteins and fats. When you look at these diets as a whole, they all seem ridiculous. When you eliminate everything, you are left without the ability to eat any food at all. The bottom line, nothing worked, and I didn't lose any weight that I could actually keep off. Worst of all, I felt terrible during all of my weight loss attempts. I had zero energy, and I acted like an asshole to everyone around me. All of these failures ended with me on my knees, clutching my chest in front of my daughter, and my doctor giving me a death sentence that I could not avoid. I'm not afraid to tell you that I felt hopeless, but I knew I could not simply give up. So I got on my computer and started researching. All internet searches led to the same dead-end advice. I spent more time saying goodbye to my friends than asking for any miracle advice, as I knew none was out there. All I could think about were the life events I missed or would never attend, like birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, Easter, and New Year's. Just like that, my time was up. This all felt like a horrible nightmare. The worst was trying to explain to my young children that I was not invincible and I would shortly be gone forever. In the depths of depression, I actually wished I would die right away instead of living in the agony of knowing I would soon be leaving them. Watching them cry and cry was more painful than I could ever describe. I'm not telling you all this to make you feel bad or ruin your day. There is a method to this madness, and soon you too will know the same secrets it took me so long to find. I'm expressing this to you because this nightmare happened in the matter of days, and it could happen to you too. I had it all, and it was taken from me in an instant. This is the worst thing about gaining weight. It accelerates aging to an extreme, and all kinds of other conditions surface that put your life at risk. Even though my numerical age was 30, my body was clearly functioning like I was 65 years old. I had a literal ticking time bomb on my chest, and I strapped it there without even knowing it. My bomb was making its last ticks, but for me, it was my heart. For others, it is cancer, a stroke, diabetes, or another terminal condition. Suddenly today could have been my last day. I spent my remaining days having more and more conversations and tears. The mood around my house got worse and worse. It was like I was already dead. I had many friends and family make the trip from hours away to see me one last time. Sadly, this is where the story would have ended if one of those trips hadn't turned into a fateful conversation that saved my life. And my friend David had traveled all the way from the West Coast to see me. David had been one of my great friends for many years. We grew up through school together. We chatted a little bit, and he told me he went to work as a medical researcher. His niche was researching and writing about new medical technologies. Okay, spill it. Tell me exactly what you're facing, he said. Like I have said, I'm obese, plus I have arterial fibrillation, a heart condition that doctors said could not be repaired. And there's no hope at all, he said? Well, okay, the doctor told me I had to lose over 80 pounds, but I had to do it without going on a diet or doing cardiovascular exercise. I was expecting the same reaction I had gotten previously, a nod of understanding and a sad, I'm so sorry. But what happened next caught me completely off guard. He said aggressively, "Why the hell didn't you say something? You always keep the tough stuff inside. You should have told me." "Why?" I asked. "I don't think what you need to do is impossible." I instantly became irritated. This was no time to joke. "David, let me explain again. You obviously didn't hear me. I need to lose weight, but I cannot cut calories or starve myself, and I cannot do cardio exercise. Additionally, I can't do anything that will force my body into survival mode, which all diets do in one way or another." After that, he just stared at me. "Matt, just hear me out. As you know, I work on confidential projects in very advanced medical facilities, and I think I know something that can save your life." He then began to explain a very closely guarded study. It was done at one of America's top medical research centers in partnership with an Ivy League medical school. This study uncovered a protocol that has been secretly guarded because it is so controversial. However, some very influential people somehow got access to it. I even heard that pharmaceutical companies are actively trying to replicate the results in a race to market a weight loss cure. Matt, these guys think what they have is revolutionary. They are calling it the answer to obesity. "Sure," I said, "but I don't have any influence. I can't afford expensive medications. What good does this do me?" What I'm about to tell you does not involve taking medication. They were studying diabetes, but in the process, stumbled upon a metabolic loophole that made people lose weight. It was highly unusual, but sometimes the greatest discoveries in the world are simply stumbled upon. Then he smiled and said, "And I have the key." He said that the research was centered around dispelling very common weight loss myths that many considered to be gospel. That is why it is so controversial. You can just imagine what would happen if this information was released. These same principles were essentially poisoning and sabotaging everyone, all the while sending their metabolisms into a state of absolute chaos. The first myth centered around the need to count calories and following highly restrictive diets. This information is widely taught, but highly misguided. He said very simply, calories are not created equal. As we consume less calories, your body downregulates our metabolism to keep homeostasis, which he went on to explain as a body balance. It is a horrible, endless cycle. You eat less, feel worse, get hungry, and gain weight. Usually, when you lose weight, it is in the form of water and muscles from food deprivation. You are left feeling irritable and depressed. Worse yet, when you gain the weight back, you gain more than ever. To put it in perspective, let's look at your average person that loses weight. They become thinner, but they do not achieve a lean physique. They are simply skinny fat. However, you see celebrities lose weight and they trade in man boobs for a ripped chest and six-pack in the matter of weeks. They look years and years younger than their actual age. Did you ever wonder how this was possible? Past all of that, they're able to make these miraculous transformations while working 16-hour days on set and remembering lines. What David was saying made so much sense, but I did not know how this could help me. He went on, essentially, the first thing you need to understand is that calories cannot be cut to lose body weight properly. I know this seems counterintuitive, but leading-edge research has proven it. He summed it up by saying that research proves that you need to eat more to lose more and avoid survival mode. But it needs to be done the right way, and I'll show you how to in a minute. Hang in there for another minute. What I'm going to tell you is something you have never heard before, and it is your answer to losing all your weight in record time. Secondly, there exists a myth centered around extensive sessions of cardiovascular exercise. You and I have been force-fed the idea that cardiovascular exercise burns calories, which turns into weight loss. Your metabolism is like every other system in your body, and it cannot be overused without it going into a state of shock. Once again, he gave me a real-world example. Go to any local triathlon or running event. Take a look around and see how many other participants carry extra fat or are clearly skinny fat. You will find very few, if any, that have lean and muscular physiques. Again, I could not argue with him. In fact, several of my friends rode bikes and ran miles and miles per week, yet they appeared unhealthy, no muscle mass or definition. Worst yet, they were always injured and struggling from exhaustion once they limited their cardiovascular activity. David then told me the third shocking untruth. Carbohydrates are not the enemy. Carbs can be used to wildly accelerate fat loss while allowing your body to maintain muscle mass. This went against everything I ever believed, but I continued to listen. Top doctors and scientists have found that the proper consumption of carbohydrates enable your body to direct the food you consume directly to your muscle, bypassing fat stores entirely. Your body will build and maintain muscle because it has to tap into the fat stores for daily energy. Net results: tasty, carb-laden food can create more muscle and less body fat. I was blown away. This turns the entire fitness industry on their head. David went on to explain that the body is constructed to use all three macronutrients: protein, fat, and carbohydrates. When you instantly cut out an entire macronutrient, your body begins searching for a new energy source, forcing yet again a state of shock. In this state of shock, your body is not efficient and your internal organs are seriously damaged. As I thought back, I remembered how horrible I felt cutting out carbohydrates. Ultimately, what David had shared with me can be easily summed up. Popular weight loss programs compromise your metabolism and force your body into a state of starvation and survival. This was the exact conversation I had with my doctor 1 month earlier. He said that if I attempted to go on a diet, it could instantly kill me because it would shock my metabolism. And this is the main thing that most people do not understand. As we continue to diet, we continue to follow this deadly advice and keep our metabolism in a diminished state. It explained why I constantly failed at losing weight. I thought it was me, but I was actually running a fool's errand. Again, everything he said made sense. But why did it matter? My time was up. My chance had passed, according to my doctor. I told David this research was amazing, but I needed it 3 years ago. I only have days, weeks, or months left at the very most, I said. David calmly accepted my latest outburst. It matters because you still have time. I promise. This research is saving lives. You will be no different. With that, our conversation was finished. He told me he had to go, but would return in a couple of days. When he returned, he had a small kitchen napkin with 14 simple bullet points scribbled on it and research test papers marked confidential. He looked at me and said calmly, "This kitchen napkin is all you need to lose weight and repair your body." These 14 bullet points contain what I call the metabolic loophole secret. I have also brought with me the Ivy League clinical study, which is extremely confidential, so you can verify everything I say with real science. I immediately glanced through his notes, and the first thing that struck me was how uncomplicated it all seemed. How could this heavily guarded secret be this easy? I still wasn't 100% sold that it was going to work, but I figured I had nothing to lose. I did not want my final days to be spent bedridden, waiting to die, covered in bed sores. With that, I committed to his plan and waited for what was yet to come. Within a couple days, something very weird happened. I slept great and woke up feeling great, with more energy than I'd had in years. For the first time in days, I got out of bed and walked out to the empty sounds of a house still asleep. I made coffee for my wife and even thought of taking my kids to the baseball game. This gave me a bit of encouragement. Maybe David's plan was actually working. I continued to sleep through the night, and I woke up with more energy than I had in years. Best of all, I felt like I had hope again. But one thing I could not understand was that David's plan did not call for me to cut out the foods I love to eat. Eating them made me feel guilty. It was prime rib, mashed potatoes, ice cream, and other treat foods, you name it. I felt like I was on vacation, not on a diet plan. But I was losing weight, and a lot of weight at that. I would weigh myself once a day. Some days I would lose 5 or 6 pounds, and other days I would lose a couple. It didn't make sense. Weight was falling off, but I hadn't dieted, and I didn't lack energy. Heck, I felt great. At first, my wife would not buy me the food on my shopping list. She thought I was 100% crazy. David had to sneak me the food when she left for errands. After a while, she could not deny my transformation and my heightened source of energy. After 2 weeks on the program, I was out of bed most of the day, and my physique was rapidly changing. I began to see the semblance of muscle tone, even though I hadn't even attempted to do any cardio. Eventually, my wife could not argue with me anymore. She started buying the exact foods I requested, such as sweet tea, pizza, and other foods you would never believe was on a diet. All of these positive results made me so happy and so positive. I actually felt like I had a chance to survive the death sentence my doctor had given me. Then, on August 14, 2012, 60 days after David came to visit me, my wife drove me to the hospital to go through a huge battery of tests. As I walked in the exam room, the test technician, who had performed my initial tests about 30 days earlier, said, "Wow, Matthew, you look great." He seemed surprised, but not as surprised as he was after seeing my test results. "I don't get it. This has to be wrong," he said. "Your blood pressure has normalized at 119/79. This is the blood pressure of a healthy young adult. Also, your resting heart rate is 64, which, again, is that of a healthy, active young adult. Finally, your cholesterol is about 80. Perfect." With all that, he left and grabbed a resident doctor. The doctor analyzed everything and finally spoke. "We need to talk about your weight loss. You have lost nearly 68 pounds in 8 weeks, but you aren't showing any signs of bodily stress. Since you have obviously been dieting, I am really afraid you may have compromised your metabolism." He went on to question my eating schedule and activity level, looking for the smoking gun. I explained that I was not depriving myself, and I was certainly not spending hours a day doing cardio activity. He responded by saying, "We need to redo the testing. This does not make any sense." As he ran more tests, he continued to stay nearly speechless. With testing complete, he spread jelly on my chest and began a heart ultrasound. His mouth literally dropped open. My heartbeat was beating normal, not even a slight sign of AFib, a condition I had before I started losing weight. My heart had repaired itself despite him telling me there was no cure. He looked at me and said there was no medical explanation. What he was analyzing was simply a miracle. As the days went by, I was able to stop taking medication. I no longer spent daylight hours in bed. I only slept at night, and I was sleeping better than I had in years. I felt truly thankful for every day that passed. I had a new lease on life, and it felt great. Only a few months back, I was going to die. Now a lean physique was magically appearing. I was looking better than I had in years. I continued to follow the metabolic loophole, and I continued to lose weight. In fact, I lost 106 pounds in just 16 weeks. It was a miracle. My wife was once again attracted to me, and my sex drive was roaring once again. I would say that I was back to normal, but that would be a lie. I was far better than normal. I looked and felt impossibly good. I say impossibly because I never ever thought I could look and feel like I now felt. I was hoping I'd simply stay alive. I never in my wildest dreams figured I had the physique of a men's health cover model, but it became a reality. Percentage-wise, I was healthier than 99% of the population. My body tests were compared to that of a finely tuned athlete. My pulse rate showed 64. I even had an MRI of my arteries, and they were completely clear. My blood pressure, which was 140/97 before I started the program, was now measuring at 119/78. I lost fat, but I did not lose my lean muscle. Oh, how life comes full circle. On February 1st, 2013, I took my daughter back to the very park where I previously collapsed and ran and held her hand as we played for 3 straight hours. The emotion of that day hit me, and we both embraced in tears. My life was almost taken from me, but I grabbed it back. She looked at me with her huge blue eyes and said, "Daddy, I was so scared. I never want to be that scared again." My friends were amazed. Most barely recognized me. They all wanted an answer. They wanted my secret. They figured it was some experimental medication that my doctors had used on me. Many were worried about their own health and felt terrible about the way they looked and felt. Other friends of mine were instantly jealous of my newfound physique. I spoke with David, and he told me that I could tell them the secret of the metabolic loophole as long as they kept it private. They had to promise to not attach his name to it and to not post it on the internet. I called a few friends over to the house, and this is how I explained it. What I'm going to share with you gives you the keys to the kingdom of a lean, healthy physique that you previously thought impossible. The scary part is that this medical bombshell I'm going to share with you is very controversial because it goes against everything you have ever thought about dieting. Yet it is so simple and powerful that it probably sounds too good to be true. But more importantly, it will fully and completely revolutionize your life. Not only will you lose all your weight, it will probably reverse many of your health conditions like joint pain, brain fog, low energy, heart conditions, and high blood pressure. You name it. Before long, dozens and dozens of my friends were in the know, and they told their friends. Without knowing it, I had created a movement. Hundreds of people were following the Metabolic Loophole program and seeing dramatic results. So, you guessed it. I wrote a book that is an easy-to-follow guide of how you can incorporate these secrets into your own life. After you read the Metabolic Loophole, your eyes will be opened to the real truth the weight loss industry is hiding from you. Here are the benefits to activating the Metabolic Loophole right now. Number 1, your stomach feels like you feasted, but your weight line looks like you fasted. Number 2, instead of starving yourself and endless calorie counting, you eat to your heart's content. Number 3, it is truly a case of having your cake and eating it too. Number 4, you lose pounds and inches faster and easier than you've ever dreamed possible. Number 5, your body's fat storage cells start to empty themselves and shrink down day by day, while you treat yourself to 3 full man-sized meals a day without the fear of gaining a single ounce. Number 6, you feel full, you feel satisfied, but most important, you feel slimmer, thinner, firmer, and trimmer. And it also means that now, because you have not punished yourself with a torturous diet that demands constant, ironclad willpower, there's no cracking, no slide back, you stay slim for good. The dream of lifetime slimness is finally in your grasp. I am only an email or a phone call away. My support staff helpline is standing by 24/7, ready to answer any questions you might have. I promise you, the speed in which you lose weight will definitely amaze you. But one word of caution: monitor yourself daily so your weight does not drop too fast, because that can be unhealthy too. And always check with your doctor before you go on any weight loss program. What's the catch? How much does the exclusive program cost? Well, let me ask. How much is your current medical insurance? How much is a doctor's visit? How much are your medications? Based on our calculations, maybe around $300 a year. And what price can you put on reaching your ideal weight and feeling younger and more vibrant again? What is your health worth? Don't worry, I'm not going to charge you hundreds of dollars that the system would normally cost. For less than the cost of 1 month of medications, you can have the proven Ivy League research in your hands. Try this program now, and you'll get access to tools I still use every single day of the year to help maintain my weight loss. The cost is not going to be what you pay for a month's worth of medication. It won't even cost you $150, and not even $100, because I want you to have this at the lowest possible price. The cost will be just enough to cover the cost to produce it. I want to be sure to get this into the hands of the people who need it most. The Metabolic Loophole is the most revolutionary program anywhere at any price, and it's only $47. So please, don't procrastinate and don't think about it. I know once you try it and see how well it works, the value you receive when you've lost all your weight is priceless. And look at the incredible collection of 5 premium weight loss accelerators that will speed you on your way to living your life feeling younger and healthier than ever before. They are yours totally free with your order of the Metabolic Loophole. Weight Loss Accelerator number 1, Metabolic Loophole Recipe Guide, easy to prepare recipes. Not only will these recipes help accelerate your weight loss, but you will feel an increase in energy, a boost in mental clarity, and a whole new positive outlook on life. The value is $47. Yours, absolutely free. Weight Loss Accelerator number 2, 12-day, 10-minute body weight exercises. Maximize your fat-burning loophole, boost digestion, and release toxins. The value, $19. Yours, absolutely free. Weight Loss Accelerator number 3, 12-day daily motivation affirmation phrases to keep your focus during the first 12 days. We do not want you to just download the program and then say goodbye. We will keep you motivated during the very important first 12 days of the program. So watch your email inbox and be sure to open your emails for immediate motivation. This helps guarantee you get a successful quick start on the program. The value is $19. Yours, absolutely free. Weight Loss Accelerator number 4, Complete Detox and Cleansing Guide for Resetting Your Metabolism. Value, $37. Yours, absolutely free. Learn how to eliminate heartburn, constipation, stomach cramps, sinus congestion, itchy, runny, or stuffed nose, bad breath, allergies. Say goodbye to water retention, binge eating, and food cravings, as well as fatigue, restlessness, sluggishness, hyperactivity, anxiety, moodiness, irritability, depression, memory lapses, and brain fog. Weight Loss Accelerator number 5, All-Day Energy Smoothies. See incredible health rejuvenating recipes for immediate weight loss. Better skin, better vision, better digestion, better bones, better heart, lower blood pressure, and better brain. Value, $37. Yours, absolutely free. Get these 5 free weight loss accelerators with your order today and put yourself on the fast track to being healthier and more energetic. I have done all the work for you, and remember, I was just like you. I was in poor health and felt there was no way out. But I found my way, and now I'm going to help you. Yes, prove every lost ounce, every lost inch, entirely without risk. Right now, go to your mirror. Look at your figure and ask yourself these questions, the solutions to which are right now within your grasp. How would I look 7 days from now, with more weight gone in just 1 week than I've ever been able to take off and keep off with up to 1, 2, even 3 months of unsuccessful and heartbreaking dieting? How would I look just 2 weeks from today with my waistline as much as 2 to 3 sizes smaller But don't stop there. Picture your body growing stronger, your mind growing sharper, your sexual performance shifting into overdrive, and your body supercharging itself. The information and tips you need to unlock all these benefits are contained in my Metabolic Loophole program, plus these 5 free Weight Loss Accelerator bonus books. No risk means you have absolutely nothing in the world to lose, except pockets of stubborn fat and unsightly bulging inches. The newly discovered Metabolic Loophole program is scheduled for full nationwide release within the next 3 to 6 months. But you can take advantage of this groundbreaking research now and get program on this pre-release instant download for a limited time only. And remember, you are not buying, only trying. Because if the Metabolic Loophole does not reward you with the same amazing results and the same amazing speed that hundreds of users have reported, if it does not take off every last ounce and every last fraction of an inch in less time and with greater ease than you've ever imagined humanly possible, if it does not actually slim and shape you a brand new body, then simply return the complete program within 30 days and owe not a single cent. You have tried wonder-working Metabolic Loophole entirely at our expense. You must click on the big orange button to order today while this offer is still available. To make sure you do not miss out, act now. Your purchase will be backed by a triple guarantee. If within the first 30 days you have not lost more weight than you ever have before on any weight loss program, if for one single day you just do not have the energy and get up and go that you had as a teenager, if you do not like the look or design of the ebooks, if for any reason at all you want a refund, you can return the metabolic program at any time in the next 30 days and receive your entire purchase price back. But keep my 5 free bonus ebooks as my valuable gift to you. To your good health and long life, Matthew Rengars. P.S. Think of it. Never again will you deny yourself the pleasure of great tasting foods or torture yourself with nerve-wracking diets. For the first time in your life, delicious foods, rich desserts, and between meal snacks are no longer strictly off limits, but instead are welcome daily treats. And most important of all, for the first time ever, give yourself the opportunity to finally enjoy lifetime freedom from fat.